Hey, you're the newest member of the GUNTALK After Show Club. Yeah, you're already a member since you downloaded the After Show, and that means you're serious about shooting, safety, and gun-related issues. Man, if you come to the right place, you're among friends and like-minded people here. Hey, if you're on hold, stay there, because Tom is coming back to the microphone. And during the After Show, you can take your time and really dig into those issues. So once again, here's Tom Gresham, our show producer Jim Kinsey, Michael, and Michelle.
All right, it is the After Show. We're going to have some fun here. We got the gangs all here, or as they like to say, we're getting the band back together. Michael.
Hey, how are you?
I am good. Michelle getting her compliments on the air today.
Yeah, blushing.
Yeah, how about that? Boy, says whatever you're paying her, it's not enough. So what? Paying her? Are you kidding me? We don't pay anybody around here.
Yeah.
I try to disconnect his line right away.
Well, I'm just thinking, I'll talk to Tom later.
That's right. We'll take that up later. I noticed that Jim said, no more of your family members calling in, please. That's enough of that. Goodness grief.
Can't have our own fan club.
That's right. That's right. Welcome to Michelle's Gun Talk. Okay. Why not? We could take a week off and you can handle it.
All right.
That's what you do during the week anyway.
Can we do destination radio? I pick the place.
Oh, you want to do a remote?
I'm hosting, but it'll be in Bermuda.
That's right. Well, it was fun doing it from Germany. I got to tell you that.
I bet.
That was a lot of cool stuff over there, man. That was fun. And
beer.
Not to mention that beer, sausage, bread, potatoes. Okay, there we go. And
all four food groups.
What else? What else do you need, right?
And guns. There you are. Yeah.
And guns, and lots of guns. Okay. All right, we got several callers here. Let's get to them so they don't have to wait around so long. Okay, let's start off with line 2. Zach's with us out of Tifton, Georgia. Hey, Zach, you got a serious range report for us.
Yes, sir. How's it going, guys?
Great.
Awesome.
Great.
Good. I was just calling in today to let you know that I have the past 2 days I took a concealed carry course with Tiger McKee out at Shoot Right Academy, and I can't really explain how great it was. He is just an incredible instructor. I'm a little bit biased because it was my first class. I've been shooting for 20 years plus, and it's the first class I've taken, and like I said, I can't describe how great it was.
Zach, let me ask you a question, because you are the perfect person. I hear this all the time. People say, I've been shooting for 20 years. I've been shooting all my life. And it's always a way of saying, I don't need that stuff. I know that stuff. What was your reaction? You have all this experience, and then you get, and I agree with you. I think Tiger McKee is one of the best shooting instructors in the country. You get dropped into the middle of this. How do you explain what just happened to you?
Well, it was very eye-opening. I thought I knew a lot before I decided to take a class. And, today, one day after the class is over, I have a whole different attitude about it now. I feel more confident. I feel like I can actually protect myself and my family a lot better than I thought I did.
Now, let me throw this thought out. You are right on all those points. It's the old deal. You don't know what you don't know. You knew a lot, but you didn't know any of this stuff. And now you're going, wow, I just learned a bunch. Yes, you did. But here's the thing for you to know. What you just learned is 5% of what you need to know. You just got the door cracked open to this whole new world, and you took a step in, but you need to go further. And I'm going to suggest a couple of things. You need to become a serious student of self-defense with guns, which is going back to Shoot Right occasionally, but also you didn't happen to pick up his DVD while you were there, did you?
But I did get his book.
You got his book. Okay. His book is very good. I'm going to suggest that you get his DVD. You can go to our website, shopguntalk.com, and get the Tiger McKee. The name of it is Fighting with the 1911, but it's really just basically fighting with a handgun. Okay. You can get some. We have some other ones, concealed carry DVDs there too. But since you've been to Tiger's class, you would really appreciate having his DVD. And that website again is GUNTALK.com. You know what? You have the problem that a lot of us have had. It's a great problem to have. Now you have to go back, and you're going to sound like the rest of us to your friends. You're going to go and say, you have to do this. You don't understand. And they're going to be saying, yeah, I've been shooting for 20 years. I got it. You're going to say, no, you don't understand. You don't know this stuff.
Exactly.
Now you're in that.
Exactly.
What gun did you take to the class?
I have a Springfield Armory XDM in 45.
Mm-hmm. How'd that run for you?
It was beautiful. I mean, no malfunctions at all. I went through 500 rounds, no problem at all. I had to clean up between classes, of course, but it ran flawlessly.
Well, that is great. Look, I appreciate you giving us a range report, and thank you. And now become a true student of the gun. Just keep learning, keep studying, keep taking classes, get that DVD, get some books. That's great. Thank you for that call. Guys, you've heard, we've had Tiger on the show here before, but until you have seen him teach, you just don't understand. He's kind of this slow-talking Alabama guy. And when he becomes a firearms instructor, he's a different person. He is one of the best teachers that I've ever been around.
I just think it's awesome how the instructors can reinvigorate the shooting enthusiast person as they are. Just reignites that passion. Yes.
That's a skill set in itself, I think.
Right. Well, also hats off to Zach for being open-minded enough, because a lot of guys and gals have been shooting 20 years. Oh, what could I learn?
It's a good point. It's hard to get somebody to take that first step. Once you do, you go, wow, there's a whole world out here I didn't know about. And then you become open to taking more classes and getting more involved, not to mention the fact that it's just a huge amount of fun.
I think we should all go.
There we go. For those who don't know, we're talking about Tiger McKee's Shoot Right Academy, and it's SHOOTRITE.org. And Tiger does classes in Alabama. He also takes it on the road. He'll come to you. In addition to doing, group classes, he does individual training. You can go by yourself. A lot of people go husband and wife, or they'll take a family there, and he'll teach you how to work together. Now, that would be really worthwhile. So very, very cool stuff. And for the DVD, go to shopguntalk.com. All right, quickly, Adam, next up in Reno, Nevada, line 3. Hello, Adam, you're on Gun Talk.
Hi, Tom. I enjoyed the show, and it's a pleasure to speak with you.
Well, I'm glad you called.
Yes, thank you. I had a question, and I'd like to get your opinion. I'm a constitutionalist, and I do have a license to carry. So I am what one might say pro-gun. But I don't know if you've heard of this new legislation that they've proposed here in Nevada about college students carrying on campus, and it's come about with the tragedies that they've had apparently they've had a number of rapes, and thus then the idea then is that I think it was quote unquote hot women with guns is how it was phrased in an interview, and I guess I have mixed thoughts, because just as you were just telling the previous caller, being proficient with a gun, I'm just not sure that, someone's more likely to shoot themselves in the foot if they're not proficient, and a person in a crisis situation, they're being attacked, for them to have the mental stability to draw and to shoot, to me, takes way more time than I've invested myself. To be honest, I actually don't carry a lot anymore in public because of that, because I just haven't had time to go out and practice. And if I go out in the woods or something, or up in the mountains, I'll carry. But because I think I see that to be proficient, you've got to practice, if not daily, weekly. And
okay,
I don't think
Adam. Hey, Adam, let me jump in here, Adam. Okay, because let me ask you a question. You have a permit to carry, and you carry sometimes, but somehow you have equated college carry to whether or not somebody's proficient. All college carry is saying that if you have a permit currently, you could carry on a college campus. It doesn't mean students would be allowed to carry. It means adults who are licensed would be allowed to carry. You have to be 21 years old. So it has absolutely nothing to do with students whatsoever.
My understanding of the legislation was that they were going to allow the students themselves to carry.
Only if they are a licensed person with a concealed carry permit. Basically what they're saying is the same people who can carry now would be allowed to carry on campus. It has nothing to do with whether or not you're a student. All it says is this will not be a prohibited area for people with a carry permit.
Okay. Well, what are your thoughts about? Because it's not that difficult to get a license. What is your thought about having a young adult carrying on campus?
Okay, so you're talking about a 21-year-old who can carry at McDonald's and can carry in the grocery store and can carry in the city park, but for some reason that same person shouldn't be able to carry on campus? Why is that?
Well, I hear your point. And I agree with that premise. I was just coming at it from a little bit different angle. I just didn't want to had just perceived, we're going to have a bunch of students now running and getting permits and then, shooting themselves without really being prepared or equipped to do so. But your point is equally taken. I appreciate your thoughts.
And here's what's going on. And Adam, I'm glad you called, because what you're telling me is that's exactly what the anti-gun people are saying. They're saying, well, students will be allowed to carry. And the answer is only those who qualify to get a concealed carry permit under the current law. That is, those who can already carry everywhere else. They will simply be able to carry on campus. But it's not a case of the 17 and 18-year-olds are going to be able to carry just because you show your student ID and you can carry. That's not what it is, but that's what the media is putting out there, and they've managed to frighten you. And you're a gun guy. You've got a concealed carry permit, and they've actually fooled you, basically lying to you and gotten you to believe this. So imagine somebody who's not into guns, how much they have bought into these lies. Look, Adam, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. Guys, that's what's going on right there. That's the kind of lies that the media are perpetuating about campus carry.
Yeah, they almost make it sound like, because now students can carry, then they're going to run out and buy a gun just because they can carry, and they're only going to carry at school. It almost like it's a prereq course or something. Now that they can protect themselves, which they should be able to do anywhere, now everybody's going to go crazy and buy guns and shoot themselves or somebody else. I think it's nuts.
Well, and of course, all this does, for those who haven't quite captured it yet, the concept, campus carry simply removes the prohibition to carry on campus. In other words, people who can currently carry other places would be able to carry on campus. But if you can't carry other places, for instance, you're not old enough to get a carry permit, you would not be able to carry on campus. You'd have to have the same, whatever the state's regulations are, same training, background check, fingerprinting, photograph, whatever it is in that state, that would all still apply, and you'd have to meet the age requirements. And I don't know what percentage. Do any of you guys have any idea what percentage of college students are 21 or over? It's probably not a very big percentage.
No, I have no idea on that one.
Right, but presently your professors are prevented, your janitors prevented, everybody except your LEOs are prevented. So it's really much more broad than the student base, which is probably, 20%, if that, because you got a lot more freshmen than you do seniors.
Sure, you're talking your third and fourth year students.
Right.
Or in my case, freshmen.
I'll be a freshman one day.
That's right. I'm a third-year freshman, so there you go.
Do you want to try to still grab Richard here in California?
Yeah, let's do that before our break. Richard on line 1. Hey, in Lake Isabella. Hey, Richard, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. I hope everybody there is doing well. We're doing fine here.
Good deal. What's up?
I was calling some of the legislators about an issue. I can't remember which one now, but I call on so many. But I happen to think that I would like to see what the Attorney General's opinion was about whatever this was at the time. And it answered, if you are calling for whatever you're calling about, and then it said, it's a computer, of course. It said, if you are calling about issues with sex offenders, child molesters, or gun owners, push whatever button it was. I thought only an idiot would push that button.
Now, is this the California Attorney General's office?
Yes, sir. It's in Sacramento.
Okay, I got to do this. All right, guys, we're going to have to call that, and we're going to get a recording of their voicemail system as they walk you through, where it lumps child abusers, rapists, or gun owners.
Child molesters, sex offenders, or gun owners.
God.
Wow.
I don't know what to say. But, Richard, I thank you for bringing that to our attention, because that's exactly what we're talking about, being lumped into groups. Gun ownership, of course, is a perfectly legal thing to do. There are some people who are prohibited from it, but it's perfectly legal to own guns. It is not, however, legal to be a child molester or an abuser. But they lump us together once again. Okay, yeah, it's Sacramento, it's California, but still, we have to get a recording of that. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we're going to talk about some of these issues and maybe a few others. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk.
EWL by Slip 2000 is the absolute best gun lube available, period. It will never gum up or become sticky. It won't attract dust, dirt, or sand, and doesn't freeze in cold weather. It penetrates and bonds with a metal-reducing friction and wear, which means less cleaning and easier cleaning. Why not try it? Visit our participating dealer for a free sample or go to slip2000.com. That's slip2000.com.
All right, back with you here. We got Michael, Michelle, and Jim, and I'm Tom, and we're in the after show now. We had the comments from Zach about going to the Shoot Right Academy, and I just thought his comments were exemplary. They really showed what we are talking about all the time of you don't know what you don't know. I mean, Jim, I remember the time that you came down here and you were shooting with the guys from VADA, and it's like this huge eye-opening experience.
Oh yeah. It was because I don't think I'm all that. You know what I mean? But I think I've been around them long enough, and I'm gun aware. And I was being extra careful not to embarrass myself and you, my host. And I still did stuff that probably wasn't real good. But yeah, it was great because you got guys that not only are good trainers but make a living at this. This isn't something that they've picked up as a hobby. This is what they do for their livelihood. Mm-hmm. And it showed me all kinds of stuff. And sometimes it's just little stuff. You go, wow, I just never looked at it that way. Or I was totally wrong because I had looked at it, I'd looked at it in a method of, well, okay, this is what I was taught 20 years ago, so it must be right. And they walked through it, and it was awesome. It was very eye-opening.
Interesting you say that. Because sometimes it's technique. But I think really when you come out of one of these classes, a 2 or 3 day serious class like this, what you really come away with is a different worldview. You just kind of go, okay, I've actually been walking around in a fog, and almost everything I thought I knew turns out to be wrong.
Yeah,
that's startling.
Yep. Makes me wonder what I still don't know.
Well, isn't that the truth? And that's what I say. You take one class, and then you go, yeah, boy, I just know so much now. You go, well, what if I told you right now you don't know what you don't know?
Oh, sure.
Well, that continues to be the case.
I bet these guys like Tiger and all the greats would probably tell you that they don't think they know it all, and they're still students.
Oh, that's certainly true. And Tiger goes to classes, and these guys shoot with different people, and you pick up, and you say if you only pick up one thing, it's worthwhile.
Sure,
if
Michael.
You pick up, wow, that's a cool way to do that.
In your teaching classes, Michael, do you find that you're also learning as you're teaching?
Oh, all the time. I think if you stop learning, you're not doing yourself a service at all. But yeah, I try to learn from other people's mistakes too. If I see something that I either deem unsafe or I don't like, I'll incorporate that into my, active mind to not repeat it.
A lot of times it's worthwhile to say, why do you do that? Now, they may say, well, I don't know. Or they may actually have a reason. They've thought it through, they've tried it, and they've got a technique. You're going, I might give that a try. But it's worthwhile to ask, why do you do that way?
Right. You learn something. Some people come up to our classes and they're like, why do you keep turning your head after you shoot? Why are you moving your head around like that? Or why are you exaggerating breathing? Well, if you didn't ask, you just think, oh, these guys are, this is what they do. And
they're really into it.
Right. But just the simple question can teach you a lot, I think. So
we actually, the first time we did video of the guys from Vada, and I mean, come on, these guys actually do go places and they grow beards and disappear for a while and then come back. And they, after they would shoot, as you say, they would, look over the right shoulder and then turn and look over their left shoulder. And we actually have people on the web make a comment of, oh, yeah, they look like they're bad guys, like, they're in a gunfight. I'm thinking, no, actually, they've been in a lot of gunfights.
And they're really bad.
They really are really bad. Yeah. But to your point, Michael, what you're doing and what they were doing is training yourself that after you shoot, you look over your shoulder one way, you look over your shoulder the other way, because, as we say, wolves travel in packs, and there could be trouble coming from another direction, and you need to know what's going on around you.
Break your tunnel vision.
Break your tunnel vision. Don't, and I hate it when I see people they're doing draws and practice, and then they reholster just as fast as they drew.
Oh.
What you need to practice is draw, shoot, and then take a deep breath, look both ways, over your shoulder, and then slowly reholster. If you've really just been in a gunfight, there's really no need to shove that gun in your holster real quickly, because you don't know what else is out there.
Right.
Well, and the other side of that, too, is if that were your situation and you were in some form of gunfight or gun battle, you also need to figure out who your witnesses are, who the people are that are around you that have seen what went down.
Boy, that's a good point, because witnesses have a way of evaporating on you. And, if you look around, you go, okay, it's that person over there. Oh, that person is actually taking video. I would sure like the police to get a hold of that video. And so that's a good point, identifying the witnesses or any evidence around. Excellent point.
Wow, she's smart. She's beautiful. She's insightful.
Raise.
No wonder we don't like her. Jeez.
Too bad we got to replace her now.
There was something we were going to tell you, Michelle.
Let me finish the segment at least.
Timing is everything.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I don't feel so bad now.
Okay, this is a real going to a different direction. I ever tell you about the fella I knew that worked in radio? This is a inside radio story. Crazy guy running a radio it's like, and you guys know, radio stations really are like WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I mean, they really are crazy places, right?
Yep.
And this guy, there's a guy that ran it. I don't know what his position was, but he was a collector of little army men, those little 2-inch tall guys. And he had a line of them on his desk. Did I ever tell you this story?
No.
And when he would call somebody in to fire him, he would point to one of them and say, see that guy right there? And then he'd take his finger and flick it off of his table and say, that's you.
Oh, my.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
I haven't been fired the right way in radio, that's for sure.
Is there a right way? That's the thing.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Oh, my gosh. Radio is such a fun world. I mean, it's bizarre, and why do you think we're in it anyway?
Nobody else would have us.
Well. It's strange around here.
Pardon the twitch.
Oh. Well, I was very appreciative of our caller who fessed up and talked about having an accident and actually shot himself. Seriously, shot himself. And that takes a lot of guts.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't. And talking with him before you got him, of course, with the screening, he was so apprehensive. And that's why I just wanted to relay to him. I'm like, it's hard to come out of that and say, I did this wrong, and to share it with the world. Because everybody listens to us, I know. But, the other side of that is you do want to make it public knowledge to some extent, because you don't want that to happen to someone else. And I think with anything, with hunter safety, all of that, we have found so much. If you educate the young and listen to the young, they can actually change your ways.
We hope that it breaks through that wall that we all have of, yeah, I've heard it before. And you go, wait. This guy had been shooting, all this time, and he has, this one lapse to getting distracted, allowing yourself to get distracted. And you know what? Okay, here's a question for you. Would you say that cleaning your gun, unloading your gun while you're paying bills, and watching TV tells you that you're not really taking it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That was the first thing he did wrong. And he admitted everything else he did wrong, and there was no reason to go into the definition of what he did really was negligent. It wasn't an accident.
It was a negligent discharge.
Right.
And it was, we got that.
Right, but he went through and he expressed himself, and it takes a lot of guts to admit he did several things wrong, actually. And to be able to come forward and admit that and maybe save somebody else from doing it is hats off to him.
Makes us all stronger, just like you were saying. Your pilot buddies and you get together and you talk about crashes and what can we do to prevent that in the future. It's if we don't talk about it, it makes us almost negligent as well.
Yeah, good point.
Well, we always say that the 4 rules of gun safety were written in blood because we figured out why and how accidents happen. Every aviation regulation, that's what I always say, the FAA writes those things in blood because they go into an accident and go, okay, we just found something else, let's go ahead and address that. And we ignore those at our peril, and frankly, at the peril of the people around us. And so, I guess not only do we each individually need to bring that in and make that part of who we are, not just what we do, but who we are. And I guess I'd like to address that for a second and have you guys talk about it. Don't you find that it changed at some point your view of yourself, when you took this on and say, okay, I am going to be the super responsible gun safety person, at least not in a superior way, but don't you find that somewhere that became a part of you?
I liken it to when I had my first child. The step I took from being a guy in his early 30s, just kind of carefree, to being a dad. That was a huge jump. And then when I decided to, my family and myself deserved and needed protection, it was a huge thing to carry a gun. And not just carry a gun, any gun handling, gun storage, all of it. This Jim from Arkansas who shot himself, that could have been any of us. Guys like this who are willing to tell their story can prevent that from happening. This guy wasn't a rookie who had just gotten a gun and didn't have enough lessons on it. He was distracted, and it happens. Mm-hmm.
It becomes something that I think you become prideful of. It becomes who you are. It's part of your identity, at least, on our side of the things for sure. And, I felt strong compassion toward Tina when she called in earlier today, too, because she's like, how do I go about defending the fact that I want to be able to defend myself, even if I'm going to my doctor's office? And
I wish I had more time with her because I want to spend more time with her.
It puts you into a situation where you have to defend yourself when really you're trying to defend yourself to begin with a firearm. I mean, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Why would I have to defend the fact that I want to be safe?
Right.
And that's really what it is. They're forcing you to defend a choice to be safe, to be, at least in our minds, to be responsible.
It's kind of ironic. This is a health and wellness center, right? So what we're doing right here is depriving you of the potential, anyway, of continuing life.
Yeah, see, I saw it from the vantage point. If she's at an oncologist, odds are she has cancer or had cancer, being treated for cancer. Right. She really needs to worry about stuff like that. I mean, this is the last thing that should be on her mind is her safety. Well, it shouldn't be the last thing on her mind, but you know what I'm saying. She has other things to worry about.
Got far other battles, yeah.
Yeah, and now she's got to worry about a basic right a birthright? It's ridiculous.
Did you catch that the doctor said something about, well, it makes our patients uncomfortable if they see somebody with a gun. So their concern clearly was open carry, and I'll bet you it came about because of seeing pictures of the open carry activists with their long guns. Unfortunately, and I've open carried before. I generally don't do it these days. But I've open carried a handgun. When I hear people now who are not real gun people, not really into it, they talk about open carry. In their brain, there is a picture of these goofballs with their AKs at a burger joint.
Well, sure, that's what you see over and over again.
That's what they see, yes.
It's ingrained in society. That's who you are.
We're going back to your other question, Tom. You asked about how did it change the magnitude of this situation, et cetera. I've just never experienced the Clint Eastwood effect, is what I call it. Because I have friends of mine that aren't gun guys like, what, do you think you're bad now because you carry a gun? I never looked at it that way at all.
Well, and I actually found that I am more conservative with my activities, with what I'm doing. I'm way more aware of my surroundings than I ever was before I carried. And I don't know, I know why that is, but it's kind of ironic. You'd think that, I've got a gun, I don't have to worry about that bad neighborhood, I can go there. You actually avoid it more.
Exactly.
Right. Or you go the other way. And,
right.
You're right. The more training you get, the less you want to actually use this stuff, because you realize, you could do everything right and still get hurt or killed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I want to avoid that
or
if
lose
at all
your freedom.
possible. And this is just for getting out of a nasty situation. There's no other way around it.
It's a tool.
I would to put a fine point on it. If somebody is stealing my car, they can have my car. If they want my wallet, they can have my wallet. I don't care.
Well, and I think
it's just some cards and money.
And I think that's a classic sign of a person that is what I call, and my husband calls, what if'd themselves. What if this were to happen? What's going to be your action? Even if you are a permit holder or if you're an open carry holder, whatever it might be, if you haven't asked yourself that question, you're not already mentally prepared for the situation.
Absolutely.
I like that. What if is a verb. I'm going to go what if that scenario and say, okay, what if this, I will do this, and then what if that doesn't work, which is the other thing that people don't know. They won't go far enough. If they want the car, if I'm not in the car, right, they're just breaking into my car and stealing it, I'm not going to go up there and try to stop them from stealing it. These are obviously criminals bent on a criminal act, and they're taking a car that is absolutely fully insured. Big whoop. Inconvenience till I get another car.
But you had your Ray-Bans in there, Tom.
I could get killed walking into that situation, or I could get, and here's the other thing I found. It's like when you're talking to a youngster who's going to become a driver. If you say you can get killed, that has very little meaning to them. But if you say you could be put into a wheelchair, you could be a quadriplegic, that frightens them. Well, same thing with guns. You could get put into a wheelchair. You could be a quadriplegic. You could be blinded. You could be, disabled for life. Whatever it is that works for you that scares the devil out of you, go with that and use that as a reason not to go get involved.
Well, and I think with that, too, you have to take it to the next level. Okay, so if it's just you, what if it's you and your significant other? What if it's your family? What if it's your child, your mother? Whatever your situation is, you need to take all those dynamics into consideration, because every one of those changes. Get in the car? Yeah, every one of those things changes your situation.
Yes, it does, and you better have that conversation with the people you're with. What if they want you to get in the car? What if they want you to go to the back of the restaurant? What if, all these other things, and go, okay, I'm going to have this course of action, that one, and you better have thought at the very least 3 steps in, because you don't want to be trying to come up with a plan in the middle of this, because you won't be able to.
Well, and this is why they think we're paranoid people, but, you're just trying to be prepared.
Personal responsibility, I don't know why that is equated with paranoia. I don't understand that.
I just bought 2 more fire extinguishers.
He's paranoid. God, is he paranoid?
Yes, I am paranoid.
I even have one on my truck.
Well, you know why I have fire extinguishers? Because I'm planning to have a fire. Because, they say, well, you have a gun. You must be planning to shoot somebody. I'm going, I have fire extinguishers. I'm not planning to have a fire. I have a spare tire. I don't plan to have a flat tire. So I don't know where the thinking comes. Well, you know what it is, and you guys know. There are people who are capable of mentally going to that place where they take care of themselves. Mm-hmm. And then there are people who will never be able to mentally go there and say, I will take care of myself. They're always going to want somebody else to do it for them.
Right. I was just going to say they'll seek you out so you can take care of them and you.
Well, and part of it, of course, is if I make the decision to take care of myself, it means I have to actually think about the fact that I'm actually not safe all the time. And I don't like that feeling, so I'm going to choose to not have that feeling by pretending that everything's okay.
Yep.
See, I would have just gone with, I'm a Boy Scout. I'm prepared.
There you go.
Short and sweet.
Got my Swiss Army knife. I'm good to go. I've got a spoon and a fork and a knife on that thing. I used to have one of those that It's like Inspector Gadget kind of a knife, you know.
Yeah, now
Love
it
that.
does have a Picatinny rail attachment on it. Then you're in good shape.
Ooh, that was really before that, but I like that idea. Then you could put a red dot on your knife. Oh,
okay.
Once again,
And we're
gone
back.
off the rails. And we're back. I'm so glad we got the gang back together.
Kind of miss Germany now, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. I think, Jim, your parole officer's calling, so it's time for us to go.
He's on line 1 and 3. Uh-oh.
That's right. Uh-oh. All right.
All right, well, rock on, buddy.
Yeah, you go. And for those who haven't, we'll give out the info one more time about the GT20. It is a countdown. The days are ticking off right now. So March 31st, midnight, it shuts down. Dury'sGuns.com. Go check out the video at the very least, because we sure had fun putting that together. I think it turned out pretty cool.
They're sweet.
All righty. Have a good week, guys. We'll do it again next Sunday.
See you soon.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Hey, we appreciate you listening to the Gun Talk After Show. Be sure and tell your friends, and remember, everything Gun Talk is available 24/7 at guntalk.com. Be sure and join Tom, Jim, Michelle, and Michael for another Gun Talk After Show next week right here.